Yesterday, we were made aware of robbery homicide.
As if she is looking for someone to find her in a game of hide-and-go-seek.
No, I don't believe she had any idea.
Previously diagnosed with bipolar disorder. They say any publicity is good publicity, but this hotel took that a little bit too seriously, and it became one of the most infamous hotels to have multiple crimes and countless violent deaths. Cecil Hotel, an infamous hotel to be known for multiple crime occurrences, and today we will be diving into the mysterious case of Elisa Lam's disappearance that happened in Cecil Hotel in 2013. Elisa Lam, a 21-year-old tourist from Vancouver, British Columbia, was born on April 30, 1991 and immigrated to Canada. Elisa's family opened up a restaurant in Burnaby. Before her mysterious disappearance, she was a student at the University of British Columbia and was sharing a room at Cecil Hotel with other guests. The elevator footage from CCTV shows Elisa coming into the elevator in a rushing manner as if she was in a hurry or trying to get away from someone. She then starts pressing all of the buttons in the elevator and standing back in a corner. The video is very unusual behavior from an average woman, and even the police were confused initially as to what Elisa was doing in that elevator. She then proceeds to pop her head out of the elevator, checking if someone was there, looking both ways to make sure. It does seem like she was trying to escape from someone, or as if she was interacting with someone. She jumps into the elevator again, and she proceeds to hide as if she was playing hide-and-seek with someone. At first glance, you might think that this case might be a stalker case where Elisa was scared for her life and wanted to get rid of the person following her, but nobody was ever seen or found in the footage. No evidence also showed that she was being followed. She pops her head back out again as if she is looking for someone to find her in a game of hide-and-go-seek, but no one is there. She takes a step out and frantically jumps as if she spooked someone. The video footage proceeds as Elisa is seen jumping in and out of the elevator multiple times and gesturing as if she was interacting with someone that just wasn't there. She gets on the elevator one last time and again presses all the buttons of the elevator. She finally leaves the elevator and is seen standing at the corner entrance of the elevator talking to someone. She is also doing some sort of hand gestures, as we do when we explain something to someone. The behavior of Elisa is very odd in the video, and thus it did, later on, spark a ton of internet theories of what might have happened to Elisa. The CCTV footage continues for like a minute or so, showing the elevator door opening and closing as if someone had been pressing the elevator button from outside again and again, but nobody was entering. Though the video ends after a minute, this footage was the last footage police had found before Elisa had disappeared. When an official police report was filed, the police were confused after looking into the footage and believing that was not normal behavior for any woman of her age, and she was not the type to cut connections from her friends and family just like that. The Canadian tourist was staying at the hotel with other guests in a hostel-like scenario. When questioned, her roommates clarified that she was behaving really erratic. So, the hotel had to give her a private room. They also told the police that she was suffering from mental illness and was previously diagnosed with bipolar disorder, a mental disorder that causes the patient to have multiple mood shifts, loss of energy, and inability to carry out day-to-day tasks. With all the evidence in hand, the police were still led to a dead end where they could not find Elisa.
She was last seen on the 31st at the Cecil Hotel at 640 South Main Street. She's a Canadian citizen, and the reason that we're investigating this robbery homicide is because we're in connection with Interpol on a regular basis, and any case that involves foreign nationals usually comes to us.
The police had just been informed of the disappearance of Elisa Lam, and since this was a case of a foreigner disappearing in the United States, the LAPD was put under pressure to find Elisa before something had happened to her.
So right now we're asking your help. We have a photo. Parents are here. They've flown down from Vancouver, and we're seeking to get this photo out so we can find Elisa.
It seemed as if the police were at a standstill with the lack of evidence, and in these desperate times, they came forward to the press to ask for any help the people could provide. Though doing so, questions did arise about the incapability of the LAPD, but while they were investigating, the worst had already happened.
She was in contact with her parents daily, her family, up until the 31st. So it's been 6 days now. As far as suspicious circumstances, nothing other than that, but there's been no communication at all. That's worried us and worried the family, so we're proceeding with the investigation on that.
She's traveling by herself.
What's that?
She's traveling by herself.
Yes, she was.
And in a place like that, did anybody see her, talk to her, warn her where she was?
The last people to see her were the staff at the hotel, and that's it.
It appeared the reporters were asking rather hard-hitting questions that the police officer did not really know the answer to. He gave generalized answers about what he knew and was often confused about what to say because the scene of the crime was so clean that there was nothing to be found to lead the case.
Surveillance video showing her coming and going?
We're in the process of investigating that and collecting anything we can in that angle.
Are they using her credit card?
We're investigating everything, including that.
Has anything popped up?
And, we're very fresh into the investigation, so I don't have an answer on that. Not yet.
It did seem odd that the police would get a case the previous afternoon and call the press the next day asking for help from the general public. With so little information about the case, it would be a bad idea to come forward to the press and answer their questions. We have no idea what the LAPD were thinking, but the reporters did not go easy on them. Though the initial case was filed as a missing person case with flyers seen throughout Los Angeles, soon enough their investigation led them to the worst news possible. It had been 19 days since Eliza had gone missing, and one of the guests in the Cecil Hotel had complained the water coming through their tap had a weird smell and tasted different. No one could have imagined the horrifying discovery that this led to as one of the hotel employees went to check what might be wrong with the water supply and discovered the dead body of Elisa Lam inside one of the water tanks of the Cecil Hotel. In a statement later on, the police claimed that they had checked the hotel top to bottom and even the water tanks that were locked on the hotel roof and did not find anything there. What was more shocking was that they had to drain the water and firefighters had to cut open the water tank to bring out Eliza's body. The police could not explain how she entered a 10-foot water tank that was shut closed. Her body was found naked with her clothes floating at her side. Since there was a huge lack of evidence and no suspects, the police could not arrest anyone for the disappearance of Elisa Lam. The police were suspecting this might either be a murder case or a case of Eliza ending her own life. But upon receiving the autopsy report, it showed that Eliza was not drunk or under the influence in any way. She was not assaulted, and there was no signs of assault or struggle. Which does bring up one question. How did her body not instinctively try to save itself? That would have been normal human behavior to save yourself, even if you wanted to die. The report also showed that Eliza had been given medication by her doctors to keep her mental illness at bay, but there was no sign of medication found in her body, leading to believe that she had stopped taking her medication completely. The case was presented to a judge, and upon seeing all the evidence collected, the judge ruled the case of Elisa Lam as an accidental death by drowning. After the authorities closed the case, the story behind Elisa Lam should have been over, but after releasing the CCTV footage of her inside the elevator, the case became somewhat of an internet mystery, with everyone coming up with their own theory about what might have happened to Eliza that day. As some say that she had been hiding from someone or she was being followed, while others thought this was just a case of Eliza ending her own life. However, the most popular theory about the disappearance of Elisa Lam was that she had been taken away by the supernatural. You see, the Cecil Hotel was built in 1924, and the hotel had seen its fair share of tragedies. Thus, many suspect the hotel to be haunted after 18 cases of violent murder. Upon entering the elevator, Eliza had been seen in the video footage pressing the elevator buttons in a specific sequence. That footage alone made many believe that Eliza had played the infamous elevator game that originated from Asia. It is a ritual that many believe can transport you into another dimension where your soul will be trapped unless you get back to the real world using the elevator again. The reason this theory had so much popularity is that upon pressing the elevator buttons, Eliza is seen doing hand gestures at someone or something that we cannot see. Theorists believe that Eliza had summoned a supernatural being in front of her, and she had been possessed by that supernatural being after she talked to it. That supernatural being, later on, took Eliza to the roof of the Cecil Hotel on top of the water tank and then claimed her soul. I know this sounds very absurd, but it is one of the most popular internet mystery theories even today. Some other theorists have noticed that Elisa Lam's death has very uncanny similarities to the 2005 horror movie Dark Water. The movie is based on the 2002 Japanese film by the same name, which had a girl drowning herself in a water tower and the mystery behind why she did it. The most logical theory for the disappearance of Elisa Lam case that theorists came up with was that Elisa Lam had stopped taking her medication prescribed to her by her doctors, and thus her mental disorder had gone beyond her control. In the end, neither the police nor the people actually figured out what really happened to Elisa Lam on that day. Many questions still remained unanswered. Who was she interacting with? And how did a 21-year-old woman jump into a water tank and steal it behind her? Unless we find out these answers, this case will forever remain as one of the biggest unsolved cases on the internet. Comment below to let us know, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe with the notification bell for any future videos you want to get updates of.